Hi, welcome back. I'm Hannah, your yoga guide for today's restorative yin flavored practice that's designed to help melt away stress and anxiety. We're going to use gentle movements and some breath work to release any tension around the muscles in our hips, and particularly focusing on the psoas muscle, part of our hip flexors. So whether you're a beginner or an experienced yogi, this session will help you unwind and restore your inner balance. So our whole practice is going to be low to the ground, and you're going to need something that looks similar to a bolster. It could be that you're just using some cushions from the sofa, or even some of your pillows from your bed. We'll start by lying on the ground on our backs, and I'm just going to put my bolster to the side. I'm not going to need this just yet, but I'll be grabbing it soon enough. I'm also going to actually take a pillow just to place my head on that pillow today. It's just something that I want to work with, but it doesn't mean that you have to do that. You could also just grab a blanket, place that underneath the back of your head if you choose. So starting with soles of feet to the earth and the knees bent, TPing those knees together. Take a few moments to shuffle your body into a place of comfort. And I'm really trying to imprint my spine initially into the earth, and then just allowing my spine to take any natural curves that feel comfortable for the lower back, middle, upper back. And let's just take a couple of exhales out through the mouth here. You might still be shuffling until you feel completely at ease and supported by any props or just the earth. And then just allowing yourself to breathe now naturally. Either that is continuing to breathe in through the nose and away gently through the mouth, or just bringing the mouth closed at this point. I invite you to bring your palms together and just start to rub the palms, creating a little heat and warmth through the friction of palms together. And then we're going to place the heel of our hand just onto our cheekbone, and then lightly place the palm over the eyes, resting fingertips all the way up through the forehead and into the scalp. Take a nourishing inhalation. Maybe sigh the breath away. Stay like this for a couple more rounds of breath. Maybe you notice flickers of light. Maybe you notice a tinge of a color. Maybe you notice the warmth of your palms resting on your face. Just notice whatever you notice, without judgment, without critique, creating a space of allowing. And then slowly begin to remove your hands away from your eyes. And just allow the arms to rest beside the body as you would in Savasana. And again, notice what you notice upon the release of the palms from the face. Perhaps more light penetrates the eyelids. Perhaps you notice the loss of contact between hand and eye socket, forehead. If you have anything supporting the back of your head, you may wish to remove it at this point, or you might continue to work with that support. I'm going to gently remove my pillow. And then from here, gently gather the knees in towards the body and start to feel a deeper impression of the lumbar, the base of the spine, resting into the mat beneath you or the carpet, wherever you are practicing at this moment. And then start to gently decide whether you're going to take the knees as one or separate them, and start to sway the knees a little bit from side to side. And you might start off with bringing the knees together side to side and just seeing how that feels on the lower back. And then perhaps over time you might choose to take some circles in opposite directions of the knees, going one direction and also choosing to go the other. Or maybe you're enjoying the first variation and just wanting to stay there. But just making it your own here for another couple of rounds of breath. And just feeling the support of the earth and the touch, and actually noticing the pressure points of body resting on the earth. The feedback of the ground and body together. And then bring the knees together once more and allow the knees to drop to the right side. I'm actually already going to reach out for my bolster. You don't have to do this, but I'm choosing to play with props today and allow my knees to drop towards the bolster and rest upon it. It could be that you have a pillow there, or maybe you choose to bring pillow between the knees. I've chosen to spread the arms and then allowed my head to drop away from the direction of the knees. If that works for you, you're welcome to do that too. We'll stay here for about 5 more rounds of breath. Stay with the presence of your breath if you can. Sometimes in a twist, the breath can get a little caught. So see if you can keep a sense of expansion as you inhale, and a sense of really letting go of the air as you exhale. Perhaps you've got just one more breath here. And then slowly bring everything back through to center. If you had that prop on one side, you'll perhaps want to move it over to the second side. And then when you're ready, allowing the knees to travel down. And again, perhaps spreading the arms. And if it's comfortable, turning the head the opposite direction to those knees. And again, from here, staying for about 5 more breaths. It might be worthwhile gently saying to yourself, I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And just one more breath. and then slowly coming back through to center. So at this point, we want to actually see if we can raise our hips higher than our heart. So a bolster would be great. You could use a block or you could use pillows here. But I'm going to I'll just bring my bolster onto the other side so that you can see my hips here as I do this. But I'm going to start with soles of feet to the earth and the knees bent towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to press down into my feet and lift the hips high enough to bring my prop underneath the buttocks. So if you're working with a block at this stage, don't have it too high. Have it on the medium or perhaps even the lowest level. Will be changing the shape of our legs, so you don't want to be teetering too high here. I quite enjoy using the bolster in quite a supportive way for my lumbar. So I do tend to enjoy bringing the bolster into sort of the nape of the lumbar, base of the spine here. But you might sort of rearrange it to feel supportive for you. I'm going to just consciously bring my shoulder blades together as well. You might need to create a nice little shelf of support for the shoulders and the upper back there. So just starting to pause for a few moments in bridge, our supported bridge, just to feel a sense of slowing down. When we have our hips higher than heart and brain, the blood will flow a little differently within the body. It starts to draw more towards the brain. So just noticing that tilt of sensation within the body for a few moments. Maybe you notice your heart beating stronger. You have more of a sense of the heart and your pulse in your heart space, or even higher up within your face somewhere. Depends how high we've gone or how much we might react to this. And at this point, I'm going to invite you to bring your right knee upwards. And if you can reach that right knee, you'll take hold of the right knee or shin and start to draw the right knee in closer towards you. At that point, you might want to start walking your left foot a little further away. I'm actually going to fully extend my left leg. So you might choose to bring the right foot back down to the earth if you're feeling like that's not serving you in this moment. You're welcome to, but I'm doing a bit of a counter action here with hip flexors. I've chosen to keep the right knee bent towards my body. You could always grab a strap and bring that around the front of the right shin to hold it in place. And that's working as a little compression through the front of the hip flexors on the right side there. Adding a little compression to the psoas muscle, as I mentioned at the beginning of our practice today, which is one of the longest muscles that we have in our body. I'll talk a little bit more about that muscle in a few more moments. As you settle in here, come back towards the breath. I'm not trying to squeeze my right knee tightly, I'm just holding that leg in place. If you're happy where you are, stay as you are. Or perhaps you might like to extend both legs and just see how that could feel on the body. This is where sometimes bringing the prop underneath you into a slightly better position might help you so that you don't experience any pinching in the lumbar, the base of the spine. So here we are, expanding through the front of the hips. Allow the legs to be heavy, the feet relaxed. We spend so much of our life sat. And the other thing that we do a fair bit is also walk in a lateral direction. And it means that our hip flexors, front of the hips, become incredibly tight without really trying a whole lot. Modern life really aids in the tightness of the hip flexors, in particular that psoas muscle. And unfortunately, the psoas in particular is really linked to our nervous system. And having really tight hip flexors can trick the nervous system into thinking that we're constantly on high alert. Because back in the day when we used to have to run and then hide from dangers in the wilderness and the wild, when there were greater predators than us, then we used to tuck ourselves into a little ball, hide away, make ourselves as small as possible. And even now, you might notice when you do feel highly anxious, you just want to curl up into a ball under the covers and stay hidden. And our nervous system still relates to that freeze mode, into hyper alert mode, into survival mode. Can you send the next 3 deep exhalations into the front of your hips and into your lower back in terms of sending a message of relaxation through the muscles there? Maybe as you exhale, you say to yourself, let go. I invite you here to rebend the legs and bring both feet to the earth. If you need to make any adjustments with the hips, do so with the props. And then we'll go ahead and work to the second side. So tucking left knee in, you might again need to rearrange props. I'm just going to walk my right foot a little further forwards. It feels a little more balanced. And I'm also going to wiggle. And then if in time it feels right, again for my balance, it does, I'm going to extend the right leg. Feel free to join when you're ready. And let that right leg be as relaxed as you can. Remember, we're just holding the left knee in place. We're not trying to squeeze it in super tight. And at this point, I'm going to do a whole lot less talking so that we can really try to drop into the being mode. If you would like to, you will once again take both legs into extension. Seeing if we can hang out there for about 1.5 minutes. Any adjustments you might need with your props so that you feel really supported. And if you're experiencing any pinching in the lower back, maybe just working one leg at a time will help. And bringing awareness back to your body, just noticing the shape that you're in, making any little adjustments as we stay just for a couple more breaths. Perhaps again sending a message of relaxation to the buttocks, the glutes, the lower back, groin, hips. When you feel ready, bringing the feet to the earth, press down firm enough into the ground that you can then remove the props out of the way and land your hips to the earth. You might want to stay there in stillness or add a little windscreen wipe of the legs from side to side. Just releasing any tension in that lower back, bringing the blood back into glutes, hips. And then I invite you just to roll to the side and once again, grab some props here. I'm going to align my bolster so that it's like a long line along the length of my spine. It could be that you're using a couple of cushions instead behind you or a rolled up blanket. And I'm going to actually bring a pillow where my head is, so it's going to be even higher. The buttocks are going to be on the floor. We're ending in reclined butterfly pose. And it could be that this is where you'd like to end your practice for Savasana. So I'm choosing to bring soles of feet together and the knees wide and just letting the knees drop down to the side here. You could also grab something to place underneath the back of the knees at this point, underneath those knees as a support so that they don't just drop all the way to the ground and you feel a little more supported. Feel a sense of openness through heart space in this pose. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like Tula being free and accessible to all.